Have you ever built a beautiful website, poured your heart into it, launched it, and then crickets? You're wondering, why can't anyone find me on Google? It is a question that keeps so many of us up at night. Well, today we are going to pull back the curtain on search engine optimization, or SEO, and really figure out what's going on. Let's decode how search engines actually see the web so you can finally get your work seen. Okay, so the problem starts right here. On the left, you've got a website that's designed for human eyes. It's visual, it's dynamic, it's engaging. But on the right, that's what a search engine might see. Basically, a blank page. And that's the fundamental disconnect we have to solve. Your visually stunning masterpiece could look like absolutely nothing to the very tool people are using to find it.
So how do we fix this? The answer is SEO. And no, it's not some kind of dark art or magic trick. It's simply the practice of making your website both understandable and trustworthy to search engines. You can think of it as translating your brilliant, human-focused content into a language that the machines can read and, more importantly, a language they respect.
To really get this, we first have to understand how search engines even begin to explore the massive, kind of chaotic universe of the web. It's a mission, and it's got a few key steps.
First up is a process called crawling. I want you to imagine billions of tiny automated robots. People call them spiders, and they are just constantly scurrying across the World Wide Web. Their only job is to discover content. So how do they get around? They follow links. Links are the pathways that get them from one page to the next. And that's how they map out the entire interconnected web.
Now, once these spiders find a page, they don't just glance at it. They analyze it, and they store little pieces of information in a process called indexing. All this information gets sorted into these enormous databases, housed in data centers all over the planet. It creates this gigantic digital library of the web, ready to be searched in literally a fraction of a second. So here's the crucial takeaway. It's a three-step mission. First, they crawl to discover. Second, they index to organize. And finally, they rank to provide the most relevant results for whatever you search for. Absolutely everything in the world of SEO is built on this foundation.
Okay, so with that whole process in mind, how do we actually help it along? Well, that brings us to our first major pillar, on-page SEO. This is all about leaving really clear signposts on your own website so those crawlers know exactly what they're looking at.
And it all starts with keywords. Now, these aren't just random words. They're expressions of what people want. They're the exact phrases your potential audience is typing into that search box. Search engines basically work by matching a user's intent with the language they've indexed from your pages. You can think of keywords as the fundamental currency of search.
But here is a perfect example of what not to do. This is a classic case of what we call keyword stuffing. Look, in the early days of search engines, this kind of thing might have actually worked, but today, it's a huge red flag. And why is that? Because it creates a terrible, totally unnatural reading experience for a human being. And if there's one thing search engines are obsessed with, it's user experience.
And this slide, wow, this just brilliantly illustrates another common problem. Just look at the difference here. On the left, we see this fun visual site about juggling pandas, but on the right, in the Google Cache version, the version the crawler sees, it's nearly blank. This happens when your important text is locked inside stuff crawlers can't read, like old Flash animations or text that's part of an image. If the crawler can't read your text, it can't index you. Your content, for all intents and purposes, becomes invisible. So, what are the right signals to send? Well, it's all about being intentional. Your page title, that's the single strongest signal of what a page is about, so your main keywords have got to be there. Your image alt text isn't just for accessibility, it tells search engines what the picture's about. Clean, descriptive URLs act like a clear file path, and having unique content on each page prevents the engine from getting confused about which one to show. Every single element is a clue, and together, they paint a crystal clear picture for the search engine.
But having a perfectly clear website isn't quite enough. Search engines also need to know if you're trustworthy. And that brings us to the second pillar, off-page SEO. This is all about your site's reputation across the entire web.
The main way search engines measure this reputation is through links, sometimes called backlinks. When another website links to yours, a search engine sees that as a vote of confidence. It's basically the internet's version of a word-of-mouth referral. It's another site saying, hey, this content over here is valuable, you should check it out.
And this is absolutely crucial. Not all of these votes are created equal. A link from some brand new, unknown blog is one thing, right? But a link from a major university, or a government website, or a huge news outlet, that's like a super vote. It carries way more authority and signals to search engines that your content is highly credible.
So how in the world do you get these powerful votes? You earn them. The best, most effective, long-term strategy is to just create amazing things. It could be an incredibly useful blog post, a hilarious video, or some kind of groundbreaking research. If you create content that people genuinely find valuable, they will naturally want to share it and link back to it.
Okay, so we've talked about crawlers and keywords and links, and it all sounds pretty technical. But this entire complex system, all of this machinery, is all pointed in one single direction.
And that direction is you, the user. A search engine's #1 job, their primary responsibility, is to make its users happy by giving them the best possible answer to their question. Every algorithm update, every ranking factor, it's all designed to better serve the human being on the other side of that screen. If you forget that, you'll never succeed at SEO.
So let's just boil this all down to its simplest form. On-page SEO is about clarity. It helps search engines understand what your content is all about. Off-page SEO, on the other hand, is about authority. It helps search engines trust that your content is credible and valuable. And you absolutely need both to rank well.
And that leaves us with one final, crucial question to ask yourself. Are you building your site for search engines, or are you building it for the people who are using them? The secret, if you really get this right, is that it's a false choice. Because a site that is clear, trustworthy, and valuable for people, well, that's precisely the kind of site that search engines are designed to find and reward.